Good day, good day, good day. We are here. We are here with the Impact Podcast. Big ideas, bigger changes. I know that sounds new, right? That sounds new. Well, it is new. It is new because your friends are evolving. Your friends are evolving. And so we officially, that is the podcast name. So you guys get to hear it first. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to come today and be with our friends yet again, yet again. So I want to welcome our very own Dr. Obiama Martin.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone.
And we have an amazing guest today, Crystal Brown-Pinkney, who will be able to introduce herself in just a moment. But I did want to kind of let you know what we're talking about tonight. And it's May, but it didn't matter if it was January, February, or any other month. I feel like it's always a perfect time to talk about finances. It's always a good time. Always a good time. So what we're talking about today is building your life, building the life that you love, but around the framework of finances and your values. And I'm excited about that because I feel like, ladies, the conversations that we have been having, right? We say, core values and alignment and family and business and boundaries. And we say all these things, but how do we bring them all together and talk about finances as well? So what would you say, Crystal, in regards to finances and values? And then we'll bring everything in by allowing you to introduce yourself. How are they aligned, your values and finances?
Well, good evening. Good evening, ladies. Thank you so much for having me here. That is a great question. Our values and our finances. Well, I think I want to start off by saying, how are we going to take care of ourselves if our finances aren't in order? We have a responsibility to be stewards over what God has given us, and we have to have the ability to not only survive, and that's going to be part of the conversation at some point, is that a lot of us are in that survival mode, and the value and what we believe about money. I mean, it could get deep psychologically, mentally, emotionally. How we handle and how our stewardship is with money really determines the quality of our life.
That's great. That's good. That's good. So while you have the floor, can you tell us who is Crystal Brown-Pinkney?
All right, absolutely. I am Coach Crystal Brown-Pinkney. You all could call me Get Down Brown or Break It Down Crystal Brown. You take your pick. But I am the owner operator of a financial services firm. I'm a regional vice president. I'm an independent contractor of Primerica Inc. And I run an office that today currently has 35 licensed agents. And we're on the road to 100 licensed agents over this next 6 to 9 months. We have an office in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and we work virtually. I have agents all over the country, from California as far south as Florida, Midwest, Texas, all over. So that's the beautiful thing about Zoom. It doesn't matter where you live. We can now help families directly all over the country. And so, yeah, this business is about helping families to become financially independent and debt free. And I like to say our goal is to get the gotcha out of finance. We want to make it so simple that a fifth grader can understand it. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? That's the question.
I I,
Get
I
the gotcha.
love the. I want to get the gotcha out. I like that part. I want to get the gotcha out, right?
Yes.
And it's so cool. What I love about this conversation that we're going to have, because I think I shared this with you. I used to sell Prime America. I used to be a Prime America agent like 20 years ago. So I understand it, and it's so needed and necessary, and to be able to balance it all. And so, when you just shared about how do we take care of ourselves, and I'm telling you, if I understood what I know now 20 years ago, like even as a representative, me being a Prime America agent at that time was definitely a means to it. And it was definitely me, trying to figure things out and provide. But it was also a hustle for me. So I didn't really understand the value of it. And I didn't like attending meetings. I don't like that part. I don't like attending meetings. But just everything that Prime America stands for and everything that you said, Crystal, is a conversation that is still relevant for today. Like, have you made sure that if something happened to you, that you are okay, that your loved ones are okay? And then how do you balance it all? And then on top of that, and I know you're going to talk about this, is in addition to the balancing act, but the finances and the budgeting and just making sure that everything is aligned so that you can really live the life that you want to live later. And we miss that. We miss that in our 20s. We miss that. Sometimes in our 30s, we miss that. And we don't value the resources and the financial literacy of it all. So go ahead.
I
You want
love
me to,
that.
you want me to come back?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So I think one of the first things that I like to say to people when we have this conversation is I like to ask questions. I think it's really important to ask questions because you really want to know where people are. Not everybody's in the same space or same space place the way they view things. So the question that I would ask is, if you were to build a house, would you build it on quicksand? And we know everyone would say no. But unfortunately, many of us are building quicksand houses because we put the cart before the horse. We put our wants over our needs. We are procrastinators by nature as a people. Doesn't matter who you are. Procrastination, they say procrastination is opportunity's natural assassination. So our opportunity to prosper and to move forward is killed by procrastination. We put off tomorrow what we should do today. We believe we have more time. And see, time is a commodity we can't get back.
So
And yeah,
wait. I just need you to say that statement about procrastination is the what to opportunity?
procrastination is opportunity's natural assassination.
Okay, procrastination is opportunities natural assassination. Okay, I just need to get that. Now I need you to just stay right here. I want you to
Okay.
stay right here and just unpack that from a financial literacy, right? Because it's such a domino impact. Procrastination is the assassination to opportunity. Unpack that.
Okay. Yes. So let's look at some areas of finance. When it comes to investing and saving money, if you're in your 20s, $30 would be worth 300,000 in 40 years. Just $30 a month. So if you're
$30
20,
a month is say that again.
$30 invested at
Uh-huh.
12% rate of return in your 20s is
Uh-huh.
in 40 years, 60 years old is worth $300,000.
And you said at 20% rate of return?
12%.
12% rate of return.
That's
Okay, so
funds.
so for those that are in their 20s, you're saying if they could invest $30 a month. So we're talking about Starbucks. We're talking about Dunkin' Donuts. Like we ain't even talking about no lot of money. We're talking about the things that they stop at the corner store or like I said, the Starbucks or the Dunkin' Donuts, money that they're throwing away. Their
Yes,
favorite drink, they're going out on the weekends and they get in there, whatever, because I don't even know what people drink at night, but it adds up. And so you're saying that if someone in their 20s was just to reprioritize,
right on.
right? Just reprioritize and say, you know what? I don't need this Starbucks, but what I do need is put this $5 away because it's going to add up, or this $6, right? 6 times 5 is 30. I can put this away. And by me doing that 40 years from now, because Social Security is not promised,
That's right.
right? But so 40 years now, me putting this $30 away can ensure that I won't have to depend on something that's not promised, like Social
Exactly.
Security. Okay,
Right.
I just wanted to say that for the people listening, to the replay.
Absolutely. So that's the point. Like Uber Eat, we can Uber Eat that. We go to the dollar store and we go to Walmart and it's $30 out of our hands just like that. We entertaining, all kinds of stuff that we're doing. We got these apps on our phones, Hulu, Netflix, so much stuff that we consume. But $30, 300,000. The average retiree at 65 has $199,000 when they retire.
Mm.
So that's the issue with opportunity being assassinated. We're not conditioned. Even in high school and middle school, finance is not being taught.
No.
We learned a lot of math. I'm 50 years old, so it's been 35 plus years since I've been in school. But when we were in school, they weren't teaching the rule of 72, which is a math equation to help you understand how interest doubles. They weren't teaching the how the stock market works and how to invest and how to invest in things that appreciate versus depreciate. We're taught to consume, to buy. Consumerism is so big. We're constantly buying, but we don't own very much. So opportunity is cut short and cut off because first we're not educated. That's an issue. But then sometimes we are educated. We just don't do anything with the information. So knowledge by itself is not power. It's what we apply and what we become disciplined to do. And that's why coaching is so important. And that's all I am, is a coach. So when I make the phone call, all I do is help you to stop procrastinating because it's something you already know you need to do. It's something you already been thinking about, but you just have somebody to walk you through the steps and help you get it done.
Yeah. And what you're sharing is so powerful too, because it made me think about, even being raised and in what you have been conditioned, right? And depending on, your household and how your family handled money and what that looked like. Or you hear a lot of people talk about, what they didn't have. And so now, either it may be a hustle mentality or it's like, well, I deserve this. So I'm going to spend it. I know I've been there. It's like,
Yes.
I deserve it.
Yep.
I'm going to spend the money until learning about compounding, right? Like that was like, oh my goodness, really? But I promise you, so much of it also was mindset because my first job where there were benefits and I had a 401k, it was like, okay, I could cash that out. Like not understanding and not understanding, the penalty that happened or what I actually was doing because it was really about the moment. And I just wasn't, like you said, that procrastination or thinking that we have so much more time that it's like, I'll get back to that. And then
Right.
10 years pass and it's like, okay, but now I'm ready. But I missed a great opportunity of compound interest because, it's this idea of I'll get to it. And I think it's hard to think about retirement when you're 20. You're like,
It is.
I
Right.
have time. I have time. But if that picture could be painted so much earlier, I don't remember conversations such as this where it really talked. No, I'm not going to say that because I worked in Primerica too for like 2 weeks. Got 2 weeks.
Really?
But, I forgot. I did, but I'm going to tell you what it was. When you said it, you was like, I hated. I've always hated sales. I've hated sales, but what I see it differently now because it felt like selling versus helping someone solve a problem. And to be honest, I don't think I was there at that time, right? It sounded good, but I wasn't there either to understand here's the solution to either a current problem or what could become a problem, or here's an opportunity to develop wealth. It more so was about, sell this to make this amount of money. It felt like it was a quick fix and I didn't care for the selling part.
Right.
So that mindset and where you are in life can really be a barrier or, it could set you up for success.
That's good. It's funny you guys talk about the sales situation because I was a marketing major in college and I remember saying I would never do sales. Never. I spoke that, and here I am in sales. But it doesn't, for me, it doesn't feel like sales. It's education. It sells itself. All I have to do is expose it. I mean, price is an issue in the absence of value. When you bring value, people want what you're offering. So if you're doing the right thing, it kind of comes together.
And here's the thing. Again, it's really about mindset because when you talk to people now, and Aaliyah and I have this conversation all the time. And even with what you're saying, Crystal, about the value, people value system is different. Like what people value, and it's like, if you invest X amount of dollars with a coach, for example, and you are guaranteed to shave off years of learning, right? You are guaranteed to, get further faster because you've invested proactively. People still, there's such a disconnect, and but you asking me to pay you all this money, like that whole conversation about you asked me to pay you all this money, and it's like, but you're going to pay it anyway.
In one way or another, you're paying the
Yeah,
price.
one way or another, you're going to pay it. And that
You could
whole
choose.
disconnect.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really a disconnect. And so I'm loving this because for those of you who are not insured, and there are still many, 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 many of us who are not insured, um, like you really don't have the time that you think that you have, because now, as you said, at 20, what the cost was and what the compound interest, right, is different when you're 40 coming into it, is different when you're 50 coming into it. While it's not too late, I definitely don't want to deter anyone. It's not too late. Get in where you fit in. But it just would have been so much easier. I'm telling you, I would have been rich 3 times over if I would have stayed with it in my 20s, because I was doing it at 20, 21, 22, 23. I was in Prime America.
Right, right.
Same. That's
Yeah,
exactly the age I was. Yep.
that's a
Yeah.
very popular age for people to get involved. Um, I think what happens is, just like in other areas of our life, we got to hit rock bottom. Sometimes it's unfortunate. I mean, it was prayerfully, when things come back around. Sometimes we can catch each other a little earlier than we may have if it didn't come around. But there comes a point in life where we realize I can't keep doing the same thing. We heard that saying, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And if we don't want the next 5 years to be like the last five, then we're going to have to change.
Gotta
And
get some.
I always say there's pain in life, some pain we can't avoid, but there's two types of pain: the pain of change or the pain of regret. And so we want to catch. And to your point, Dr. Obiyama, it's never too late. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives, and the purpose of the past is to learn from it. That's what it is. It's a lesson. They say lose, but don't lose the lesson. So every day, new mercies, new opportunities arise. And so this may be our day that we say, you know what, I had enough is enough. Let me take a step. Let me take a step. Let me just make that move. And then when you start seeing your investments grow, even when it comes to the life insurance side, and that's, excuse me, so sorry, y'all. That's an issue on the insurance side, is people pass away and then we're fighting to find money to pay for a funeral. And if it's a young person, that's just tragic in and of itself. And then what if it's a breadwinner? What if it's someone who brings in dollars into the household? And we're worried about a funeral. What about life after death? What about that income that's no longer there? So a lot of people are over premiumed and underprotected. They may have life insurance, but they don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
They pay too much for it. They don't
Mhm.
understand what they purchased. And then you got the folks that don't have it at all. And so sometimes I've had many people tell me I've already had to pay for a funeral out of pocket. So when my call comes, or when I get the referral, they're like, I'm ready. But let's stop waiting for that to happen. Let's just go on and do it. They say it's better to have life insurance 2 minutes too early than 5 years too late. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. 5 years too early than 2 minutes too late. It's
Right.
better to have life insurance 5 years too early than 2 minutes too late. And so
Right. Because if you get it 2 minutes too late, you're not insured. It's not even in effect. And that's such a great point that you just made, Crystal, because I know people who, you know, they are well over the age of insurability, right? And now everyone is kind of like, well, we got to get insured. And it's like, Well, based on your age and based on your health, we can only get enough to bury you. There's not enough to cover any expenses or anything like that. And so I want to just say, Krista, if you can just tell the people, like, right now, what would you say the top 3 things that we should be doing or we should have? How about the top 3 things that we should be doing and we should have in place in terms of just financial security?
That's good. That's really good. Okay, that's easy. That financial house that I was talking about earlier, I'm just going to give you those levels. The most sturdiest part of a house is what? You guys talk back to me. Let me know. What's the most sturdiest, strongest part of the house?
What, the foundation?
Yes, the foundation.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep, that's the answer. And the foundation is life insurance. So This is what I like to say to people. This is the way life should be. Food, water, shelter, life insurance. That's the order. Because I'm breathing right now. There's no guarantee I'm going to be breathing in the next second. So after I secure my shelter, I got food and water, clothes on my back, a roof over my head. I need to protect my life because my greatest asset is my ability to earn income, to take care of my family. My greatest asset is my ability to provide. And so I have to protect my life. Life insurance is income replacement. I'm protecting future income. It's not about a funeral. It's total protection. So that's the first and most important thing that we have to do. So you need to get it, and then don't depend on the job. How many people are changing jobs? We're changing jobs every 3, 4, 5, every 7, 10 years. And guess what? You don't decide whether you stay at that job. You don't decide if the company keeps the plans they currently have. You don't decide who owns the company, and the rules can change. And your status as an employee could change. And then that means your benefits change. The fine print, they say the big print giveth, the fine print taketh away. And nobody's reading the fine print.
Wait, say that again. Say that again. The big print taketh and the fine print. Wait, the big print giveth and the fine print taketh away. Lord. Okay.
Yes. I got stories for days. We can talk about that another time. So do not depend on job insurance. You need a private plan that's not tied to your job, that's portable. It goes everywhere you go, whether you're working or not working. And we have a waiver of disability on the policy. So God forbid you become disabled, we're going to pay for the policy for the remainder of the term.
Now, see, I was going to say that when you was talking about food, water, shelter, and life insurance, I wanted to jump in there and say, you got to add that disability insurance because that's also protecting your income, especially if you are the breadwinner. If something happens to you and you don't have disability, like car insurance. I mean, like
all the insurances.
Like,
listen,
all of them.
Yeah, all the insurances. But I'm just thinking about how many times I've been in a car accident that caused me to be down and not be able to work.
Facts. There you go.
So that's a really, really good point. So let's add to that. So you got to have the life insurance and the disability insurance, and especially for entrepreneurs, many entrepreneurs are unaware of that disability insurance for entrepreneurs. Like, it's just as important as having life insurance.
I'm with you 100%. Excellent point. And so the second thing we need outside of the insurance realm is we need a plan to pay off debt. We need a debt elimination program. If there's student loans, credit card, well, the credit card debt is the really biggest issue because it's revolving. So it depends on what type of credit card debt people have. But you need a plan to pay down your debt. I teach debt stacking, and we also can do debt consolidation. But the goal, you have to be a homeowner for the debt consolidation program. But for debt stacking, anybody can do that. And it's an excellent way to take years. It takes years off your total debt elimination timeline. And then along with it, so number 2 is a combo. It's debt elimination and emergency fund. So they both need to happen at the same time. So what people like to say is, I want to pay this debt off and I'm going to save later. No, you need to pay debt down. You need to have some numbers and a strategy to pay debt down. But at the same time, you need an emergency fund because we've all had one before, right?
Absolutely.
Emergency. And typically emergencies have something to do with money. Money might be tied to most emergencies, right? And then oftentimes it's money tied to the emergency that we don't have. If I ask the average person, can you get your hands on $10,000 without borrowing, what you think they're going to say? They're most likely going to say no. So we should have 3 to 6 months of our income in emergency money. That's easier said than done, and it's that procrastination again. But you got to do it when things are good, when things are not, while things are calm. $200 a month, just consistent. Put it in a stack and stack and stack it. Get it up to that if it's your net income. So if you make $3,000 after taxes, $9,000. You make $5,000 after taxes, $15,000. And that's the low end emergency. The bigger one is double it, $30,000. And see, how secure would people feel if they had $30,000 and wasn't tempted to touch it and had it? COVID would have been a great example. When that happened and everybody was losing their jobs, that was a great example, period of time. How much money did we have when we could no longer work? So that's the second level, debt elimination and emergency. Third thing that we have to do is retirement planning and college education. And it's in that order. Retirement goes before college education because children can borrow money to go to school. You can't borrow money to retire. So you have to put your retirement.
Say that again. Children can borrow money to go to school, but not to retire.
But the parent can't borrow money to retire. That's right. So you cannot. In other words, you shouldn't be trying to save for college and not your emergency, not your retirement first. Your retirement should go first. And the job retirement, we're not taking advantage of the Roth IRA or the IRA outside of the job. See, we want to be financially independent. When all of your benefits are on the job, you're financially dependent. You're dependent on the job. That's a supplement. You just do the job sponsor 401k, 403b, pension plan. If you get one of those, you're blessed to get one of those. But if you get that plan, but take advantage of the Roth IRA, that money grows tax-free. Yes. That money is yours. Like the gains, the interest, the dividends, the capital gains are 100% yours. And if we really wanted to get serious, we can fully fund an IRA. And if you're young, I'm 30. I'm gonna do a 35-year-old. A 35-year-old, if they can fully fund an IRA, $541 a month. I got my little calculator up here. I just want to show y'all real quick. They have $1.6 million on their 70th birthday.
Okay, say that. Break that down again for the.
That's a birthday present. Now I want that
for the slow people. I just need you to break that down for the slow people. Come on.
Yes. So you can fully fund a retirement account under the age of 50.
Under the age of 50.
Under the age of 50 for $6,500 a year.
For $6,500
a year. If you put in annually and I've divided that by 12, that's $541 a month. If you did it evenly.
Okay.
And we're doing this. We got car insurance. I know people with a car note for $750. That's not including car insurance.
Right. Okay.
So it's not that we don't have the money. It's the priority.
It's the priority. So $541 a month, $6,500 a year, and you're under 50. So I'm 46. So if I opened up an IRA plan and I put $541 in it a month, when I am 70, I'll have how much?
You would have $1.6 million. This is at a 9% rate of return. I'm not even being aggressive.
I would have $1.6 million at a 9% rate of return. Okay.
You said this is an IRA. That's the Roth IRA?
IRA.
So what's the difference between the Roth IRA and the simple IRA?
Well, the simple IRA is for self-employed people. The Roth IRA is for people that work a job. The simple or the SEP IRA is for self-employed people, which allows you to invest more than what the employee people can invest. So that's the benefit of having their own business. You can save more money tax-free. So everybody should have a business. Little plug.
So what would you say? Because this makes me think about even like my staff. We've been offering IRA for years, and when I tell you, I've never had more than 5 participate over that time. What would you say to the person who's like, I don't have the discretionary income
to invest,
to invest it, to save it for the emergency fund, to do all of these?
Say you need a side hustle. So let's go. It doesn't have to be mine, but I'm going to offer. But it don't have to be mine. You need another source of income, or you need to increase your income. You need to gain a skill or seek promotion. You have to increase your income. We're too tolerant. We're too tolerant for the incomes that we're living at. You can do more. You can get a better position. So you have to accept where you are. Now, here's the minimum, though, Aaliyah. $25 a month is the minimum to set up an investment.
No excuses, basically.
Basically, thank you. That part. Yep. But you can increase your income. There's so many remote part-time and people work part-time jobs all the time. But what are you doing with the part-time money? People work them all the time. We're eating it away. We shopping it away. What are we doing with the extra money? And if you really are that tight, you can do a budget. We can cut expenses. Some things we have going on, we need to get rid of. See, we got a high entertainment value and a low education value. We want to be entertained. We want to have fun. And it's nothing wrong with fun, but not at the expense of our financial future. We have to reprioritize, and we have to live lean and mean. They say you live lean and mean, and you want to save, and you got to become disciplined. It's like losing weight. Same deal.
Discipline.
That's so good. Crystal, I want to just kind of summarize this because this is so good. So the three things, I want to go back to the three things that everybody needs to have right now is, number one is a life insurance plan. That's right at the top of the list. And then number two is a debt reduction or debt cancellation plan.
Yes.
Right. And then number three is the retirement plan.
Well, the debt elimination and emergency fund is together.
Okay. So debt elimination, emergency fund, and then the third thing is the retirement plan.
Yes.
Right. So for anyone that's listening and Tasha is like, wow, this is so good. For anyone that's listening is like, I hear you, but like if I could only do one right now, what would be the absolutely one thing that you would recommend that I start with?
Life insurance.
Okay. Now, what if, because I want to be the person that's like, but I can't afford life insurance because I got all this credit card debt.
Well, I'm going to work. I could work with you with your credit card debt. We can still put it's not mandatory that you get the life insurance. We can still work on your budgeting and your debt and handle attack or whatever we need to attack. But a person can get a policy for as little as $15 a month. So we need to figure it out. And then if you have job insurance, if you don't have children, your need might not be as high as someone who does. So it does have to be customized to your situation. And I do have people who did not get the policy, right away, and they called me back, or I contacted them later. We just, pray and hope, and whatever they have on their job will be sufficient for the time being. But I'm not necessarily advocating that we do investments over the insurance. I mean, I'm still at the mercy of what they're willing to do. And so I do have investment clients that don't have insurance. I won't say they don't have it. They might not have it with me. So I hope they still have it. But we'll customize it when you have a special case. But in most instances, I can take $50, $75 and help you have insurance and investments. And the other thing that person can do is they can do a lump sum for the investment, and this is why the investment can be slightly delayed, because it takes time for investment to turn into something. Life insurance is instant. So it's you can make one payment, and if you got a $300,000 policy, you're going to get $300,000. Whereas if you invest for 3 months, $100, you got $300. So we're going to break that up and make sure you have both. But you can also do a lump sum of $250 just to establish an account. So let's say somebody says, I can't really do an emergency fund and put something in every month. I could talk to them say, let's save up $250. Every time you get a check, let's take $20 and put it in a piggy bank. And let's build it up to $250. And then we'll come back and open the account, and at least you got $250 sitting there, and then there's no monthly draft mandatory amount. You can just send money whenever you have it extra. So if you do overtime, if you get blessed with some money, you can just send $50, $20 like that. So there are some other ways to get the account started. We just would need to sit down and put together a plan that works best for that individual.
So, Crystal, based on what you just said, so if I had $250 to get started, what is the interest rate, and is it compounding?
Yes. Well, this is an emergency fund that I'm referring to. Mm-hmm. So emergency funds are not aggressive with interest because it's an emergency. It can happen next week. So we're talking about a money market mutual fund. And so we're talking 1.5%, 2% return. I mean, the bank is 0.5%, so it's higher than what the bank is, but it's really just preservation of the dollar. It's really not about growth. So it's offshore. It's not in your bank account. You don't have a debit card or a MAC card to touch it. So it's offshore and it's for you to forget about it.
Okay.
If we were doing
Now,
a 5-year plan, then we can look at 3, 4, 5% rate of return. Something you weren't going to touch for 5 years, a government fund, a bond fund. And I hope I answered all your questions. Sorry.
no, you did. Now, my last question is for someone who is listening, who's saying, you know what, I'm in a position where I can actually do something. I did not know what you are saying right now. And now I'm listening to you and I'm like, I want to get something started and I want to do it aggressively because I'm older and I don't have a whole lot of time. So what plans do you have that are aggressive where the interest rate or the compounded interest is higher?
Well, we have high growth mutual funds and we have moderate or growth mutual funds. Now, here's the thing about a growth fund. Growth funds are 9, 10% return. High growth funds are 11, 12 plus percent return. And you need a certain amount of time to justify starting an account like that. You need at least 15 years. If you're 60, we're not setting up an aggressive account because you're going to take on too much risk. You have to have enough time to let the market fluctuate. So you have to have time for the market to rebound. So you really need to be, if you're 50 years old and you want a high growth fund, you're gonna have to sign off on that. There's some questions that I have to ask you anyway, a risk profile questionnaire that determines what type of investor you are. Because the higher the return you get, the more volatile the market is. So there's a higher risk that you take of the money fluctuating, but it's also a higher reward. And there is so many more up years than down years. Past performance does not guarantee future performance, but it's a track record. So if you got 20 years or more, you're even better. If you're a 15-year window, I'm really going to try to put you in a growth fund. And I'm going to counsel you because that's my fiduciary responsibility is to counsel you to put your money in appropriate. 9% is 8, 9% is good. The rule of 72 teaches your money doubles every at 12%, it doubles every 6 years. At 10%, it doubles every 7. So if you got 20 years until retire, 21 years, and we can take it up to 72. See, if you're starting late, then you might need to take it all the way up to the time frame that you don't have to, but you have to withdraw at 72 and a half. Okay. And now they're moving retirement to 67 right about now. And it's probably going to be 70 soon. But if you're later in life starting, then I'm going to probably encourage you to take it up to 70, 72. Don't touch it at 50. Definitely don't touch it at 59 and a half if you just started in your 50s. But the longer you leave it in there, the more it's going to grow because you're going to give your money efforts time to compound.
Okay. This was so good. I think this is Ali. I think this is like a good place to kind of put a bow on it because you've given us so many great nuggets. Again, for those of you that's going to watch the replay, the 3 things that you must have in place is that life insurance. If you can do nothing else to ensure your financial future, you want to make sure that you get with Crystal or whosoever and get you some life insurance in place. And then the second thing is work on that debt cancellation and that emergency fund, right? And then the third thing is the retirement plan. Crystal, how can they get in contact with you?
You can contact me, call me on my cell phone. I answer it morning, noon, and night. Area code 484-354-9321. And I'm on Instagram. It's a little long, but it's downtown Coach Brown _ mind your money. And that's MINDURMONEY. Downtown Coach Brown _ mind your money. And I'm on Facebook, Crystal Brown-Pinkney. You'll find me, Crystal Brown-Pinkney. And I want to add a 4th thing, Dr. O and Aaliyah, is increase your income. Get a business. That's so you can increase the quality of your life. Become an owner, not a loaner. We loan our time, talent, and treasure. There are opportunities. I have an opportunity. It's very lucrative. No excuses. You can fully fund an IRA with your part-time opportunity. See, you got to use the reason to increase income is so that you can hit your goals and dreams. This is what we do in life. We have these dreams and goals looking like this in this big box. And we have incomes that look like this. So we spend our whole life shrinking our dreams to match that income. we need to increase the income to match the dream.
That's
So
good.
talk.
That's good.
Well,
I know we're wrapping up. I keep feeling this though, that sometimes I know there's people who, it's like I have to have everything together before I come to the coach. And I just want to make sure it's clear that really they just need to come and you can help direct them. I don't have to have the plan. I don't have to already know where I want it to go. Just come, and then coaches say, listen, this is what you're working with. Here's what we can do.
That's
So
right.
really the extra step is just call or go on this and reach out to you on social media.
Call me, reach out, inbox me, call. I'm here.
That's it. This was absolutely phenomenal. This is absolutely replay worthy because I got to go back, I have notes. So when you guys listen to this and listen to it again, make sure you have some notes, write it down, and then be prepared to take action. This is definitely an action step podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies both.
Coach Crystal. Thank you. This is phenomenal.
yes, thank you.
Guys soon.
Yes.
Till next time.
Till
We
next
are the impact. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes. See you then.
Bye-bye.